Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Taya and this is Taya's Turning Pages. This is actually editing me popping in here, and I wanted to give you guys some background on why the clips might seem a little bit disjointed in this video. That's because they are. As you guys know, I took you book shopping with me in Barnes & Noble for my last video. I was actually going to do a PANGOBOOKS unboxing in that video, but I realized that it would have been way too long, and so I decided to just break this up and make it into a two-parter. And so that's what you're watching now. This is part 2 of that video. And so I didn't have an actual formal introduction for this video. Like I said, I thought I was going to include the unboxings in part 1. But anyways, I just wanted to give you that background. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. You could definitely tell that this video is a little bit chaotic. It's a little bit all over the place. I'm definitely hyped up on caffeine, but you know the vibes. You know the vibes. You know how it is, on my channel. So it's all good. But I just wanted to give you guys that background, like I said. So with all of that out of the way, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the unboxing portion of this video. Like I mentioned earlier, I did go on PANGOBOOKS and I went a little crazy again and found some really great books that I wanted to add to my library for an affordable price. I am trying to limit my time on PANGOBOOKS, but it is so difficult because there's just so many great deals and so many books that I have not come across before that I just want to add to my cart. So that's what I did. So the first package that we'll start off with is this one. I love the packaging of this, by the way. I think this is so cute and just a nice little touch. So let's do this. Oh, it's wrapped up again. See, I love PANGOBOOKS because you don't get this type of service anywhere else, okay? This note right here just says thank you, and it says hope you enjoy. I really like this book, Katie. So shout out to Katie for selling this to me. Thank you very much. I don't know which book this is. Oh, okay. I remember. The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. I'm so happy that I own this again, you guys. This was actually the first book that got me into romances and rom-coms in particular. This was my first adult romance book that got me into the genre, which is why I owe Jasmine Guillory everything, and I really need to start reading her books again because she got me into this genre single-handedly, period. And The Wedding Date is what sparked my love for this genre in particular. So this is actually the first book in Jasmine Guillory's Wedding Date universe. I don't know what the official name is for this series, but I'm sure you guys have probably seen this book as well as a few of her other books called The Proposal, The Royal Holiday, I think, or The Royal Wedding, something like that. She has so many different books in this series, but this is the first one, and this is still my favorite one out of the entire series to date. So this story follows two characters named Alexa and Drew. Alexa is black, Drew is white, and they are an interracial couple. I did just want to call that out because it does play a factor in the story. But like I said, it follows two characters named Alexa and Drew. I know Alexa works in the political sphere. I don't know exactly what she does. I think she works in the mayor's office. She is really focused on her career and really dedicated, but she is, of course, interested in finding someone to date and be in a relationship with, but she hasn't found that right guy yet, and that's when Drew comes into the story. So I don't remember all of the logistics because I haven't read this in some time. From what I can remember, Alexa and Drew meet in an elevator and they strike up a conversation and sparks instantly start flying, and the two end up, I think, exchanging numbers and information, and then the story takes off from there. I know that wasn't the best synopsis. I haven't read this book in about a couple of years, but I do plan on rereading this for a reading vlog because I want to see if this book still holds up for me, especially with me being more well versed in the romance genre and knowing what I like and what I don't like. I want to see if I'm still a fan of this book and if this can still be considered one of my favorites of all time, because I do recommend this book to people that are looking to get into the romance genre. I still feel like this is probably a great beginner's book, but time will tell, because like I said, I am going to do a reading vlog for this book, so definitely make sure you stay tuned for that. But I saw this on PANGOBOOKS for like $5 and I decided to pick it up because I wanted to own it and have it in my library since it kickstarted all of this for me. I actually think I am going to buy the second book in the series too, called The Proposal, because I really enjoy that one just as much as I enjoy The Wedding Date. So those two might be the only physical books that I own from the series, but right now I wanted to start out with The Wedding Date and see how this goes. The next package that we have here is this bright pink one, which I love. I love the packaging on this. I love PANGOBOOKS sellers because everyone just has their own different style on how they package their products, and I love that. Oh god, I hope I didn't cut the book, y'all. Oh my god. Woo. Okay. I can already see what this book is. Y'all probably already saw it too by me opening it, but this might be a shock to some of y'all because it was a shock to me, but when I read the synopsis for this book, I was intrigued. So the book that I have here is Poster Girl by Veronica Roth. This is actually a newer release, and I saw that one of the fantasy book boxes did a special edition of this book. I can't remember if it was Owl Crate or Illumicrate, one of them, child. I don't know. Fairy Loot, I don't fucking know. But it was one of those fantasy book boxes, and they actually released a special edition of this. And I wasn't really interested in that cover design, to be honest, but I was on Pango and I came across this book, and I'd never seen this edition before, and I thought that this one was a lot cuter than the other cover. So I decided to read the synopsis to see what this book was actually about, and I'm interested. I have never read anything by Veronica Roth before. I think she is the author of the Divergent series. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe she's not, but I definitely think she is the author of like a very popular series. If she is the author of the Divergent series, I've never read that. I never had any interest in reading Divergent because I'm a Hunger Games stan through and through, and I always felt like Divergent was low-key kind of a ripoff. But you know, I'm here to give Veronica Roth a try through this book. It is a dystopian novel. Sorry, y'all, there was like all this noise happening. So, as I was saying, what's right is right. Sonia Cantor knows the slogan. She lived by it for most of her life. For decades, everyone in the Seattle, Portland megalopolis lived under it, as well as constant surveillance in the form of the Insight, an ocular implant that tracked every word and every action, rewarding or punishing by a rigid moral code set forth by the delegation. Then there was a revolution. The delegation fell. Its most valuable members were locked in the Aperture, a prison on the outskirts of the city, and everyone else, now free from the Insight's monitoring, went on with their lives. Sonia, a former poster girl for the delegation, has been in prison for 10 years when an old enemy comes to her with a deal. Find a missing girl who was stolen from her parents by the old regime, and earn her freedom. The path Sonia takes to find the child will lead her through a crooked post-delegation world where she finds herself digging deeper into the past and her family's secrets than she ever wanted to. So this does not sound like the typical book that I usually go for and that I usually read, but I was a huge dystopian girly back in the day, and so I'm really hoping that this book can get me back into it because I miss this genre. I really do. I don't know what it is about somebody starting a revolution or a rebellion. I don't know what it is about that trope, but it gets me every single time. I really hope that I enjoy this one, and I hope it's not confusing. I felt like the synopsis was pretty straightforward, but I don't know. Hopefully the story itself isn't confusing and I'm able to follow along really well, like in terms of the world building. All right, now we're moving on to the next book here. Oh gosh, they be taping these things up, okay? Which I appreciate, because you know how UPS and USPS and all of them be acting sometimes with our packages. Like, sorry, I'm trying to show you guys me actually unboxing this as well as trying to open it, but it's a lot harder than I thought. Goodness. Oh, there's, okay. All right. Okay, this book is packaged nicely. Even though it is a little close to the top, it is packaged nicely, like protected wise. I do like that. I know what book this is. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Oh my goodness. And I love the fact that it's like perfectly wrapped. It looks like it's in brand new condition, which I am so happy about because I think I only paid $3 for this maybe. You guys are probably looking at me wondering why I'm hauling The Fault in Our Stars in 2023. I understand. It might look a little weird, but this was one of my favorite books of all time when I was growing up. This altered my brain chemistry. When I first read this book and when I first watched the movie, I was instantly obsessed. John Green ran the world during this 2010 through 2014 era. Like, he was on top of the world and he deserved it because The Fault in Our Stars is one of the best books I have ever read. I don't care. I don't care. I know it's not Pulitzer worthy, okay, but it's still one of my favorite books and it holds a special place in my heart. I remember exactly where I was in life when I read this book and when I watched the movie for the first time, and I love that type of nostalgia. So I wanted to own a copy of this and have it for my own library. This is one of those books that I just genuinely loved and adored when I first read it. This is one of those books that also really helped me get back into reading for fun. So I'm really happy that I own this again, and I don't know if I'm actually going to do a reread of this, only because I feel like with this book in particular, this is probably a relic of its time, meaning that I should leave it in the past. I think I should just leave it there because I feel like if I read this now, I'm not going to like it as much as I did because I've grown, I'm an adult now, and I can reflect back on things and critique books in ways that I didn't before. So I don't really want to do all of that with one of my favorite books, you know. It's different with The Wedding Date because that got me into romances, and I just feel like, I don't know, that one's different. This is a childhood favorite, so I don't want to ruin that. The fact that I own it just makes me really happy. All right, we're making strides, but before we get into the next couple of unboxings, I did just want to show you guys this one book that I got from, I think, Blackstone. is what it's called, Blackstone UK. I just wanted to call out the name of the shop because it's not in its packaging because I had to take it out. But the book that I'm referring to is The Collected Works of Oscar Wilde. So I actually saw another booktuber talking about this book, and I can't remember their name, and I'm so sorry, but I saw another booktuber haul this book, and I instantly sat up in my seat and I ordered it right away because for those of you who do not know, The Picture of Dorian Gray, written by Oscar Wilde, is my favorite classic of all time, and it's just one of my favorite books, period, of all time. I have multiple editions and copies of The Picture of Dorian Gray, and so I just really resonated with that book, and I really loved Oscar Wilde's writing, and I also loved his commentary on vanity, beauty, aestheticism, high society, the elite, the 1%, moral corruption, sinning, debauchery, the list goes on. So I just really loved his commentary on those topics, but I also loved the way that he would critique and also fire some shots at some of these topics that he brought up in The Picture of Dorian Gray, especially when it came to high society London during that time period in the 19th century. And so when I saw that booktuber haul this, I knew I needed to add this to my library because I want to give more of Oscar Wilde's works a try because of how much I resonated with his writing and how I found it so beautiful, you know? So I saw this on Blackstone and I just love this edition. I love the watercolor art of this, and I also love the gold foiling. And yes, this is a very chunky book, but it's because all of his collector works are in it. So it says right here, this includes the complete plays, poems, and stories, The Picture of Dorian Gray, as well as something called De Profundis. So I don't know when I'm actually going to start dipping and dabbling into this book. This for sure is not going to be a one sitting read. I am going to have to just find certain poems and plays and stories that I want to read, but I do want to read most, if not all, of the stories in here if I can. I will say though that this book came a little bit damaged. It's no beef with Blackstone at all, but I'm just saying the package was a little bit beat up. The package in the book was a little bit beat up. As you can see, the corners ain't looking too hot, and the book itself is a little, you see, it's a little wonky, right? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna email them about it because it's not that serious for me, but just something I wanted to call out. But either way, I am really looking forward to dipping and dabbling into this one throughout the year. Okay, now we're moving on to the rest of the unboxing. So the next package that I have right here is this one, and I'm gonna rip it like that. Oh, I was doing so well. I was doing so well. Okay, there we go. There we go. I like how that opens. It opens like a little bag. That's cool. All right, let's see. I think I know what this book is. It's very small, so I think I know what this one is. It's packaged very nicely. Oh, I love how cute this is. I don't want to ruin this, but I'm gonna have to. I know what this one is already, but element of surprise for you guys. Right? Can you guys guess? Probably not. Maybe by that you'll be able to tell. Ooh, this is packaged really nicely. I gotta make sure I give her a good review because she went the extra mile. But the book that I have here is Galatea or Galatea by Madeline Miller. So I don't know how this is actually pronounced. I probably should have looked that up first, but I think it's pronounced Galatea, which period. Okay, so I just looked it up. This is actually pronounced Galatea. On the back here it says, an enchanting story that boldly reimagines the myth of Galatea and Pygmalion. In ancient Greece, the marble sculpture of a beautiful woman, Galatea, is given the blessing of life. Her sculptor marries her, and they have a daughter together. But the sculptor is a controlling and jealous man who does not want Galatea to know the world. In a desperate bid to control her, he locks Galatea away and keeps her under the constant supervision of doctors and nurses. Galatea, however, yearns for independence. She has a daughter to rescue and is determined to break free, whatever the cost. This just sounds like this is going to be really good, really moving. And Madeline Miller is just a goat, it seems like, when it comes to Greek mythology retellings. Like, she is so good at this. It's insane, and has a true talent for these type of retellings. So I'm really looking forward to diving into this one. Pygmalion is actually one of my favorite plays of all time, and so I can't wait to see how elements from that play, as well as just Pygmalion as a Greek mythology figure overall, will intertwine. I'm really looking forward to reading this one, like I said, and this is definitely going to be a spring read. All right, y'all, 2 more packages left. 2 more packages left. So we're gonna start with this one. Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, I hate this type of packaging. Oh, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. Oh god, I hate this type of packaging. It literally got everywhere. Anyways, but the book that I have here is The Roughest Draft by Austin Sigmund Broca and Emily Wibberley. So this is another book that I have talked about on my channel extensively because this is the first and official slow burn romance that I have read, and that actually got me into the whole like subgenre of slow burn romances, and I love that. I know a lot of people did not like this story, which I was very shocked by because to me this reminds me of an Emily Henry novel. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's a complete copy and paste, but a lot of elements in the story definitely could be taken from Beach Read or Book Lovers or even people we meet on vacation, I'm sure. This story follows two authors named Katrina and Nathan, and Katrina and Nathan used to be really close friends, and they used to co-write books together, but something happened that made them fall out, and they haven't spoken to each other or seen each other in years, nor have they written a book together in years. But in their contract, I think there's a rule that says that they have to write 3 books under that publishing house, and they have 1 more book left to write. And so Katrina and Nathan have no choice but to put their differences aside for a while to come together to finally finish this 3rd book. And once they reunite, Katrina and Nathan start to go back in time essentially and try to really get to the root of why their friendship imploded the way that it did and what went wrong, and if they can get back on track, not only as friends but also as potential lovers. And the story takes off from there. So like I said, this was the first slow burn romance book that I have ever read, and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I don't regret it, and I'm really happy that I have a physical copy now. I probably will go back and reread it so that way I can annotate it, but I am just so excited that I have this in my library because this was such a good book, and you guys beat it dust, and I don't understand why. I know that these authors have another book out. I forget what it's called, but I do plan on picking that up very soon because I love this one. So I'm hoping that I love that one just as much as I love this one. All right, y'all, we have the final package here, and I'm pretty sure I know what this one is, but who knows? I could still be surprised. All right, and the last book that I have here is The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulay. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that, but this is another book that you guys are probably going to be shocked that I now own and that I even purchased, because this is also out of my comfort zone. But I'm really trying to expand my horizons moving forward with my reading, and also just not being afraid to tap into new genres and tap into new things. If it sounds interesting to me, I'm just going to pick it up. This is a book that has always been on my mind since I first heard about it. I never actually picked up the book just because this is kind of thick. This is a chunker, and I just don't know when I'm gonna get to it. I say that with every book, but when it comes to these bigger books or these longer books, I genuinely do not know when I'm going to find the time to actually sit down and read these in full and read them in a timely manner. But I am really gonna try with this one because, like I said, I've had this on my TBR and on my mind for a while, and it's about time I get to it. I don't know anything about this book except for the fact that it follows an indigenous character as well as a thrilling, suspenseful part. That's all I needed to know. But I will read the synopsis, and right here it says, 18-year-old Donis Fontaine has never quite fit in, both in her hometown and on the nearby Ojibwe reservation. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. She dreams of a fresh start at college, but when family tragedy strikes, Donis puts her future on hold to look after her fragile mother. The only bright spot is meeting Jamie, the charming new recruit on her brother Levi's hockey team. Yet, even as Donis falls for Jamie, she senses the dashing hockey star is hiding something. Everything comes to light when Donis witnesses a shocking murder, thrusting her into an FBI investigation of a lethal new drug. Reluctantly, Donis agrees to go undercover, drawing on her knowledge of chemistry and Ojibwe traditional medicine to track down the source. But the search for truth is more complicated than Donis imagined, exposing secrets and old scars. At the same time, she grows concerned with an investigation that seems more focused on punishing the offenders than protecting the victims. Now, as the deceptions and deaths keep growing, Donis must learn what it means to be a strong Ojibwe woman and how far she'll go for her community, even if it tears apart the only world she's ever known. This sounds like it's going to be so good and definitely going to pack a punch. It's going to have a lot of commentary in here, I'm sure. Really excited to get to this one at some point. I just don't know when, but I am going to try my hardest to prioritize this one. I have heard that the audiobook for this is actually a lot better than reading it physically, so I more than likely will go down that route, but I still wanted to read along physically just in case I'm not vibing with the audiobook. All right, y'all, and those are all of the new books that I have picked up recently from PANGOBOOKS over the past couple of weeks. So this is probably going to be the last book haul that I do for a little bit. I don't want to completely say I'm on a book buying ban, even though I know I should be on one, but I'm not doing that. I love buying books. Even though I don't have the space, I love buying books. I'm probably still gonna do it. I am thinking about buying another book cart just to have that extra space for these books that I have currently, but I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me my channel out. And lastly, please make sure you follow me on Bookstagram as well as Storygraph. I will leave all of that information linked down below, as well as at the end of the video and at the beginning of the video, like I always do. I will see you guys in my next video.